Dominicans capitalize on CSME benefits. The Bureau of Standards works to ensure top quality exports, and the Operation Youthquake receives donation from the South African Embassy. Thanks for joining us for another edition of National Focus. I'm Mervin. Details of our headline stories and more in just a moment.
Think water, think life. Water refreshes, restores, cleans, and enhances growth. Potable water is a benchmark for development. DOWASCO is serious about its mandate to ensure easy access to potable water island-wide and provide sewage services for a cleaner environment. DOWASCO is your water and sewage company.
Thank you for staying with us. Dominicans are taking advantage of the opportunity to work in other CARICOM member states thanks to the CARICOM single market and economy. Under the second regime of the CSME, which deals with the movement of skills, CARICOM nationals have the right to work, travel and do business within the 13 member states with a skills certificate. Since the adoption of the CSME in 2006, the Labour Division has issued over 330 skills certificates and has had over 40 people coming from other CSME countries to work. Labour Commissioner Matthew LeBlanc explains further.
One of the first categories is university graduates, but that was then. That has been extended. So now persons with associate degree can also apply for it under the academic category. Persons with 2 A-levels can apply for it. Persons with their CAPE, their professional certificate. For persons who do not have this, for example, a media worker, I'm coming to a question. You don't have a degree, for example, in social communication or media work or whatever, or public relations or internet or marketing or whatever it is. All what concerns media work, that would qualify you to have that. Let's say you don't have this, but you're a media worker. We have the Media Workers Association, MWA. So what you need is a certificate or a letter of endorsement.
Other categories include artists, musicians, sports persons, nurses, teachers, and artisans, all of whom must possess Caribbean vocational qualification. LeBlanc says Dominica is taking every step to fast-track the process to allow persons to access opportunities overseas.
We have streamlined the process in such a way that because we do not want to deprive our citizens of a chance to get a job in another territory where that job may be available, because that's what the single market and economy is all about, we can actually get this certificate to you in an expeditious way within 72 hours. And if Mr. LeBlanc is up to his day and the minister is available, some miracle can happen. It can even happen in 48 hours.
Work is also being done to allow for CARICOM vocational qualification in other areas to form part of the regime.
You may have a plumber, or you may have an electrician who is very good at what he or she does. In terms of years of experience. A carpenter, mason, very good at what they do. They may not have a degree, but they have the practical know-how, experience, and years behind them. And they may be better at what they do than the individual who works from universities or from and now they are trying to standardize that and how under the CVQs it's called, how that can be translated into a CARICOM vocational qualification, and then through having that they can present and they can move as part of the process.
Any questions concerning the skills certificate can be directed to the Labour Division. In other news, Dominica is one of the leading CARICOM member states moving towards the full implementation process of the Caribbean single market and economy. Dominica's commissioner to the OECS and the CARICOM, His Excellency Ambassador Felix Gregoire, says Dominica and the Trinidad and Tobago are the more progressive member states in that regard. He was speaking at a CSME media workshop on Wednesday.
With just one exception, Dominica has removed all unauthorized restrictions on the free movement of goods, services, capital, the rights of establishment, and specifically identified categories of CARICOM nationals. The issue that remains is the restriction on non-OECS CARICOM nationals to acquire and hold land above a certain size without an alien landholding license.
A number of acts have been amended to allow the transition to the Caribbean single market.
We've worked on our Entertainment Act. We have amended that. We have amended the Insurance Act, Nurses Registration Act, Trade and Professional Act, Civil Aviation Act, Mines and Minerals Act.
The alien landholder license is the only area requiring attention for full access to the CARICOM single market.
It's a restriction with respect to the purchase of land. If you want to buy land to set up a business, some operation, any business you set up, there's some things you need. Land is one of them. So you have to purchase land, and there's a restriction that says you cannot purchase more than 3 acres of land.
Over the past decade, the value of fresh produce and agro-products exports has not shown consistent growth due to increasing competitiveness in regional and international markets. This is according to consultant Julie Ann Loda of CROSC, the Caribbean Regional Organization for Standards and Quality. It is observed that the rise in demand for food safety and environmental standards has also made it more difficult for Dominica to enter these markets. It is against this backdrop that the Dominica Bureau of Standards, in partnership with CROSC, hosted a Quality Infrastructure Dialogue Forum at the Fortin Hotel on Thursday. Director of the Dominica Bureau of Standards, Dr. Steve John, says the Bureau recognizes the importance of the national quality infrastructure in achieving government's goal to diversify and improve the island's quality of export. The national quality infrastructure refers to the institutional framework that establishes and implements the practice of standardization, including conformity assessment services, metrology, and accreditation. Director of Trade Mervin Walter says that quality in the agriculture and fisheries sector is of paramount importance to his ministry.
The term quality is very important and significant to the Ministry of Trade, Energy, and Employment, as it is a prerequisite for successful market access and for improving the competitiveness of exporters. However, meeting technical requirements is a challenge for many of our local exporters, especially in view of the proliferation of standards. It is against this backdrop that the Ministry of Trade, Energy, and Employment give its unquestionable, unequivocal support and approval to this National Quality Infrastructure Dialogue with the national quality institutions and key players in the agriculture and fisheries sector. The Ministry of Trade and the government, by extension, recognizes the importance of these sectors to Dominica's economy and has been investing significant sums of monies in developing QI institutions and facilities in order to enhance the market competitiveness of Dominica's products.
A Chief Executive Officer of CROSC, Derek Omar, highlighted the importance of a close relationship between the national quality infrastructure and the private sector.
CROSC's main goal will be to make regional quality infrastructure relevant for national competitiveness and also regional development. Now, this regional plan for national developmental agendas can only be executed in its entirety if a demand-oriented, private sector-driven national quality infrastructure is being implemented at the national levels. In order to ensure a robust and demand-driven national quality infrastructure like this, there needs to be a continual dialogue between the national quality infrastructure institutions such as Dr. John runs and the private sector to ensure that the right services are being developed to support private industry needs.
In his remarks at Thursday's ceremony, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Harold Geist, reminded the stakeholders of their responsibility to the nation.
We also have a responsibility to our farmers and fishermen and to our country to ensure that Dominica is afforded a fighting chance to trade and compete in the regional and international market, eliminating as far as possible barriers to trade, improving the understanding of our local producers, on quality issues, and positioning our country to earn foreign exchange and to enhance the social and economic status of our persons in our rural communities.
It is anticipated that this dialogue with critical stakeholders will better inform technicians and policy makers of necessary interventions to address issues affecting quality in the agriculture and fisheries sectors. It is also hoped that the forum will contribute to the goal of Dominica's produce meeting international standards. This workshop is in keeping with government's 2012-2014 medium-term growth and social protection strategy to use agriculture as an intervention to deal with poverty. This is what patrons were treated to on Wednesday night as the Tianjin Cafe Future Children's Art Troupe exhibited their talent at the Arak House of Culture. The art troupe was founded in May 1995 and is one of the largest children's art troupes with the most art categories and largest number of actors in China. His Excellency Ambassador Li Yangjing was pleased that for the first time Dominica and China could share such a cultural exchange. The flamboyant dancers of Dubla put in a splendid performance of two of Dominica's traditional dances. There were also performances from Alisa Lita and Jared Jajak, among others. The Honorable Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, Peter Seja, spoke of the fruitful relationship that Dominica and China have shared over the past decade.
I believe that the promotion of cultural exchanges and people-to-people contacts has been an important aspect of Dominica-China bilateral relations. I am therefore delighted on behalf of the government and the people of Dominica to welcome the Tianjin Cafe Future Children's Art Troupe, who will share the stage with the flamboyant dancers of Dubla and other young Dominican artists, as together we bring the 10th anniversary of celebrations to a close.
Over the past 20 years, children of the Cafe Future have set their feet on 410 cities and towns worldwide with 380 performing items. This world tour included the United Nations headquarters in the United States, Bahamas, Barbados, and the Dominican Republic. In other news, the Operation Youthquake has received a generous donation of items from the Embassy of South Africa based in Jamaica. Earlier this morning, GIS News was on site at the Operation Youthquake. The Honorable Minister for Social Services, Lady Catherine Daniel, and Mrs. Savre were on hand to witness the event. Addressing the ceremony, His Excellency the President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Charles Savre, urged the young people to learn more about the West African culture as a thank you to the embassy.
I want you to follow on the history lesson that Ambassador Droyini gave this morning to familiarize yourself with a map which is painted on the wall and put the two together.
In her remarks, South African High Commissioner to Dominica, Her Excellency Mafi Joyini, educated students on Dominica's South African history. She made reference to Dominicans who have contributed to the freedom of West Africa.
In the 1920s, Dominicans played a role through UNIA in the liberation of, and they petitioned what is now called the United Nations for South Africa and other countries around South Africa to be liberated. Another Dominican that you need to be proud of is J.B. Charles, who worked very closely. You know Marcus Garvey, a Jamaican, who formed the largest, back then, UNIA, which was fighting again for black pride, for liberation against colonialism.
Her Excellency Joyini also made mention of Honorable Felician Alfrey, Honorable Roosevelt Douglas, and the Labour Party government. The South African High Commissioner considers the donation a means of community service.
In fact, your day of community service is is very, very similar to what we call International Mandela Day, Nelson Mandela Day. So we thought, well, we would like to participate in that day, and went back and planned accordingly to be able to participate last year. However, we could not be here, but we made sure that we are here today. So that's how we contacted the Office of the President to say, help us participate in a day of community service. And His Excellency pointed us to this organization. So it's our way of participating in. So even though it's not a day of community service, it's for us, that's what it is. So it's just a small gesture to Operation Youthquake.
The ambassador encouraged the students to take education seriously. The donation included a computer and windows. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skirt représentait Dominique à gros meeting East Caribbean Central Bank qui prend place en St. Kitts. Pendant meeting cela, conseil large recevoir report gouverneur Dwight Venner. Conseil cela, c'est ministère c'est 8 pays qui a formé East Caribbean Central Bank. Gouverneur Venner présente un report qui a montré que l'économie pour l'année 2014 c'était 1,7%. Quand regardez ça l'année 2013 pour 1,1%. Développement en la place sécurité pour ces gouvernements là avancé bas ces pays là où là on est plus meilleures conditions tapé trading. Économie East Caribbean Central Bank qui avancé à 1% l'année salam et puis l'année prochaine ça y est qui aussi avancé. Plaisir d'autres bagailles qui concerne banque là à discuter. L'autre grand meeting là qui prend place en juillet en pays Anguilla. Another nouvelle workshop a concerné CARICOM Single Market and Economy Chain en Dominique, Katagite Moon Media. Ambassador Dominique pour CARICOM, His Excellency Félix Grégoire, a adressé workshop là.
À présent, CARICOM, les gens qui travaillent avec le journal, quoi dit, média, pour connaître plus contre CARICOM, plus contre CSME, ça nous a qui est Single Market and Economy. Pour moun ça nous voulait pour tout peuple Dominique savent contribuer ça là mais nous les travailler puis c'est moun là qui travailler dans média pour aider nous pour ba commission pour passer commission bat pour tout le monde nous que les monde savent qui doit unir pour les aller hors un pays en CARICOM pour l'autre pays en CARICOM c'est nous que les monde savent c'est bien ça là avec nous les monde média travailler puis nous pour faire ce monde savent contribuer ça là.
Ambassador Grégoire expliqué CARICOM Single Market and Economy et puis bénéfice là.
Là un monde en CARICOM qui est dans Dominique, on va aller Dominique à présent. Si un Dominique sorti Dominique avec l'autre pays en CARICOM, elle a ni 15 membres en CARICOM là. là il veut un lot pays quand il veut automatique municipal by 6 mois pour y entrer en place là. So là quand entrer première fois il a tapé 6 mois. Si elle est là pour travail il pas besoin ça nous qui est un work permit. Il pas besoin ça. OK? Mais il besoin ça qui est un curriculum skill certificate. Un certificat il pour taper pour dire comme quoi il est qualified en profession. Il a commencé comme il commencé par mon qui est à l'université, il commencé là, il va présent il mené tout mené pour teacher, police, nurse, mon qui media, artiste, mon sport. Tout ce bail ça va présent ça nous ça carré comme les fait pour faire une manière pour moun un monde qui travaille au hôtel laboratoire un monde en construction qui fait ça même skill certificate ça et bien il faire une manière pour faire carte qualification pour bayo so c'est monde qui une qualification ça ou pas nous voyez moun aller dire ça fait que j'ai pas ça fait c'est on pour qualifier quoi so si vous avez 6 mois ça.
En nouvelle bureau standard Dominique en collaboration et puis CrossQ tient un workshop qui mettait attention à ces bons standards et puis qualité production à ces marchés là. Workshop ça là targeté secteur agricole et puis pêche et puis manière pour tenir bon qualité standard pour produire ces secteurs ça là. Permanent secrétaire ministre agriculture Harold GIS fait parole importance à workshop là.
Workshop ça bien important. C'est un workshop là, nous menons différents mondes, marouins, nous menons laboureurs, nous menons habitants, nous menons différents mondes pour venir parler à ce qualité produit nous avons produit Dominique, avec qualité nous avons exporté hot Dominique. C'est bien important pour nous parce que fait nous avons problème pour préserver qualité produit nous avons exporté. Avec marché sitôt ça foreign market yo ka demander en bonne qualité produit hot Dominique avec si nous pas ça joindre qualité ça là nous ka perdre market ça là comme ça c'est bien important pour tout le monde comprendre ça yo ni pour faire parce que c'est pas un seul monde qui ni pour occuper des qualités ça là ces farmers là même qualité a commencé depuis ils ont planté ils pour planter qualité manger qualité régime qui market là a demandé comme ça si par exemple si nous avons produit watermelon avec qualité market là dit ils veulent sugar baby avec ou aller ou planter ou faire un établissement ou planter un patché différent patché melon mais c'est pas sugar baby là on vient pour vendre ou pas que ça vendre les market ça là parce qu'il faut parler ça il pas qu'à demander ça comme ça qualité a commencé là.
Et puis finalement, Dominique a tout de suite expériencé avancement en production livestock, et spécialement cabrit et puis mouton. Parole ça là sur le Dr. Beth, Dr. Reginald Thomas. Sinon, Dr. Thomas, l'argent déjà mis à ses côtés hot BAM pour faciliter un projet qui paquet en y avancer production en secteur livestock, mais aussi que avancer qualité production c'est viande ça là. Dr. Thomas fait parole qui conduit le programme Tweety Bet sans que embryo transfert en cochon, cabrit et puis mouton. Ministre agriculture tapé assistance aux consultants qui assistent et puis programme cela. Mais c'est mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Mervin. Thanks for watching and do join us again tomorrow.